Have you ever wondered what happens when a government decides to spend a lot of money and where that money actually comes from? Understanding this is key to grasping how our economy truly works. The way a government chooses to finance its spending significantly influences its inflationary impact. Put simply, financing through new money creation is typically the most directly inflationary, while financing through taxation tends to be the least inflationary, and borrowing falls somewhere in between. Let us dive a bit deeper into why these financing methods have such distinct effects. When a government finances its spending through taxation, it collects money from individuals and businesses. This reduces their disposable income and, consequently, their private spending. In essence, it is a transfer of purchasing power from the private sector to the public sector. Since overall aggregate demand might remain relatively stable or even decrease, the inflationary pressure from this method is often contained and can even be disinflationary. Financing government spending by borrowing or issuing debt means the government sells bonds to individuals, institutions, or other countries. This competes with private investment for available savings in the economy. If the government's borrowing is substantial and leads to a significant increase in overall demand without a corresponding boost in productive capacity, it can contribute to inflationary pressures. This is because more money is chasing the same amount of goods and services. However, if the borrowing merely reallocates existing funds rather than creating new money, its direct inflationary impact might be less pronounced than other methods. The most direct and potentially potent inflationary method is financing spending through new money creation, often referred to as monetizing the debt. This happens when a central bank essentially buys government debt directly or indirectly with newly created funds. This process directly increases the overall money supply in the economy without a simultaneous increase in the production of goods and services. As more money becomes available to purchase the same amount of goods, the value of each unit of currency decreases, leading to higher prices across the board. This is a classic case of too much money chasing too few goods. To analyze these methods, you will want to observe government announcements about budget deficits, tax policy changes, and especially the actions of the central bank regarding government bond purchases. For instance, if you hear about the Treasury issuing a large amount of new bonds, consider who is buying them. If it is primarily the central bank, that signals potential monetization and higher inflationary risk. If it is mostly private investors, the risk is different, perhaps more related to crowding out private investment. Also, understanding that a truly independent central bank is less likely to directly monetize government debt is a crucial insight. An interesting concept to consider is Ricardian equivalence, which posits that, under certain assumptions, financing government spending through debt or taxation can be equivalent in its economic effects because rational individuals anticipate future taxes to repay the debt. While debated, it highlights the complexity. Additionally, the revenue a government gains from issuing new currency is called seigniorage, which is directly linked to the inflationary effects of money creation. When you understand these dynamics, you gain a powerful lens through which to interpret current economic policy. By appreciating how different financing methods for government spending affect the money supply, aggregate demand, and ultimately price levels, you can decipher the real-world implications of fiscal policy decisions. This understanding allows you to go beyond the headlines and grasp the fundamental economic principles at play, helping you to form a more complete picture of inflation dynamics.